Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Part of this bill that the state legislature in New York is pushing, it has some really extreme anti-ICE measures, saying ICE agents can't be in public places like hospitals, parks, and also says that agents have to take off their masks. Is this even legal? I mean, this is a state over federal. So that doesn't seem right. Well, joining us now to talk about all of this is John Yoo, the great constitutional scholar. Professor John Yoo, we love you. What do you think?
Hey, Rita. Great to be with you. Happy Memorial Day weekend. From the way you described it, I think significant parts of that bill violate the Constitution because, as you said, it tries to elevate the state over the federal government. Now, the state doesn't have to cooperate and assist the federal government. There's large areas, and particularly criminal law, where the state can go its own way. But when it comes to federal law, when it comes to enforcing the laws passed by Congress under the Constitution, states can't impede or obstruct the federal government. That's called obstruction of justice. That's a crime. And so the state can't prohibit federal officials, federal law enforcement from going where they need to go to catch people who are violating federal law, to gather evidence they need to gather, to prove and can convict under federal law. And so if there's parts of the bill that say ICE agents can't go into public places, that violates the Constitution.
Absolutely.
If there are parts of the bill that say federal agents aren't allowed to collect certain kinds of evidence, that's a violation of the Constitution. And I expect federal judges will have to strike down parts of this very unwise New York law.
Governor Patterson, you had something to say?
Well, Professor Yoo, when I heard about this last night, it was going on 6 o'clock, and they made this announcement. And I'm not sure if the governor signed the bill yet, but I'm sure she has.
And she pushed it, so you bet she'll sign it.
Exactly, Rita. This is really, I think, almost, I hate to use this term, embarrassing for this kind of thing to happen. You don't have to be John Liu to know, John Yoo, I'm sorry, John. You
don't have to be John Woo either.
Any of them.
Thank you. But we're getting a Memorial Day off to a very exciting beginning. But seriously, I think your points and how you delineated what the state can do from what the state can't do is going to be upheld by the judiciary in the future.
Yeah, so the Supreme Court's already decided this question over 10 years ago, a case called Arizona versus United States. And the court there said, states can choose to cooperate with the federal government in its priorities, but they don't have to. So a state official could, or some states like Texas could say, we're going to help the federal government find illegal aliens and hand them over. They could do that, but they don't have to. They can just step aside. But what they can't do is obstruct justice. You know who obstructed federal law enforcement? The segregationist states.
Exactly.
They didn't want to cooperate with Brown versus Board of Education. Yes, exactly. And so they actually, right, you remember these famous photos where governors from the South would call up their militias and their National Guards and try to block entrances to schoolhouses because they just thought segregation is the way things should be. And the Supreme Court and federal judges and even Dwight Eisenhower eventually had to send out the 101st Airborne Division to say, no, step aside. Federal law is supreme in our country in the areas where the Constitution gives it supremacy, and states aren't allowed to block officials. can't block federal law. They can go and elect new people if they want, but that's as far as you can go.
So, in other words, what the state legislature, the assembly is saying, what the state senate is saying, what the executive office of the Albany is saying, well, it's against constitutional law. I mean, the federal government has the right to go into public places and do what they have to do to protect the Constitution of the United States.
Yes, and so what they want to do is they're just saying, Constitution be damned. I want to make a political statement, or even worse, I want to antagonize and trigger a fight with the federal government. And you know what? They're inviting President Trump to take retaliatory measures. This is a great way to, right?
You know what President Trump Trump says, and Tom Hochul says, make my day.
Professor John Yoo, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me on. Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
You too. Thank you so much.